we have a great group, and so my job is not to try and do too much or control the game. It's to get this ball out and into their hands.
Back in action, Baker Mayfield talks about his expectations for himself and the team in 2021.
Delta 101. We're answering your questions about the contagious variant spreading across the state. Plus, Ohio's COVID cases continue to climb. How they compare to just 1 month ago.
I haven't slept. Talked to a lot of different people to get this ball rolling, so we're off to Tokyo.
Dream come true. Olympian, alternate, and Chardon native Matt Ludwig gets to compete in Tokyo. Plus, which other Ohio athletes are making us proud?
And it's Throwdown Thursday. Mike Polk Jr. pushes us mentally and physically Olympic style. Well, kind of. Stay with us. What's New starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, hello again, Northeast Ohio, and a very good Thursday afternoon to you. Thank you so much for watching What's New. Alongside Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. Betsy, good afternoon to you. We're a day from Friday.
We are a day from Friday. I just want to let everybody know that it is not a coincidence that today is National Chicken Wing Day, because, of course, we're going to start with Browns training camp. It's football.
Of course we are.
That's
chicken
my
wings,
understanding of football is chicken wings.
Yeah, I know. I asked you once if you like watching football, and you said, I like chicken wings. That's
with
what
football.
I like.
Yeah, okay. It's pretty much the priority list there.
That's where we begin today, right? You're absolutely right, Betsy. Today, day number 2 for the Browns at training camp out in Berea. And the lead up to the 2021 season is underway, which of course comes with huge expectations for our Cleveland Browns, and why not? I mean, we all remember how we finished up last year. We made it to the final 8 teams before just barely losing a nail-biter to the Kansas City Chiefs 22-17 in that AFC divisional playoff game. Let's go out to Browns training camp right now. That's where we find the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. Jim, another closed practice session this afternoon before fans are finally allowed in for tomorrow's workouts. And I would venture to guess that the players will be just as excited to see the fans as the fans will be to see the players.
They really will be. I mean, they are really excited about that. They openly talk about that, Jay. It's been a little lonely in there. I mean, we love listening to Kenny Chesney with his song Beer in Mexico, but I'll tell you what, they want to hear the Here We Go Brownies chant, and that will be echoing off the fences and off the walls here in Berea tomorrow. It's been a long, long time, too long, but we're ready to go. The fans are here tomorrow. Today, it's quarterback day. Baker Mayfield meeting with the media today. Very, very calm, very relaxed, coming into year number 4. Boy, isn't that amazing when you say that? Time flies. Baker Mayfield coming off a great season last year, comes in to year number 4 with a great football team to work with. He is comfortable with the offense, loves his head coach, loves all those explosive weapons he has at his use in this offense. I mean, he is in position number A coming into what we all hope will be a big, big season.
Yeah, I actually know what he looks like now instead of the mask. So it's just different. We weren't able to be in person for these meetings, and having in person the first full offensive meeting together, on the report date. That type of thing is something that we didn't realize, but we took it for granted, and I don't think we will now, being able to be all together and do that. So when it comes down to being with Kevin and being able to have those conversations, there's a lot more communication going on now than there was last year. Not that we were lacking any, but it's just a lot more accessible now.
And that's the key thing right now. I mean, imagine last year it was always virtual between Mayfield and his head coach, Kevin Stefanski, when they would go into game planning meetings and things like that, and really restricted time out on the playing and the practice field. And so this year, all of that is gone. I mean, they are one-on-one with Alex Van Pelt close at hand, the Browns offensive coordinator. Jay, Baker said something that really kind of raised my eyebrows a little bit today. He was talking about his expectations coming into this season. And he said, you know what, I can play so much better this season than I did last season, which really surprised me because I thought he had an exceptional year last year, especially down the stretch. I mean, he led the Browns to the playoffs. He won big games. And if he says he can play better, well, all right, I'll take him at his word, because that's going to be a great, great thing for the Browns if he continues to get better. He thinks the knowledge of this offense, the comfort of the offense, is going to lend very well for him to put up some very big numbers, and for the Browns to put up some big numbers in the win column. Couple of practice notes for you. Rashard Hollywood Higgins rolled his ankle yesterday, so he was held out of practice today. Nothing serious there. They expect him back very, very quickly. And you're right, Jay, to your initial point, the Browns are very excited to get the fans back in here tomorrow. They're, in fact, a little bit giddy about it. They really want to perform in front of their fans. It's been too long.
I know they can't wait to get in there. The tickets it's hard to get them. They're done on a lottery basis, so good luck if you get them. Enjoy them. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow. All right, Jim Donovan live from Browns training camp today. Of course, Jim will have much more on the Browns workout coming up at 6 o'clock. Jimmy, thanks. We'll see you.
We want to change directions now and get over to Matt. There's a tornado warning that's been issued, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely, Betsy. We've been tracking the storm over the last hour or two. Again, we had the tornado warnings out in Ashtabula County earlier this afternoon. That boundary has sunk down to the south, and now it's kicking off more storms. This is for the extreme southeastern half of the viewing area now. This is Carroll County, and it's for the eastern half of Carroll County. So if you're in Carrollton, which is the most heavily populated area in Carroll County, you're safe right now. This storm is just east of you. You can see the storm on radar. Pretty decent presentation with that. When you look at the radar, you see the reds and the oranges. That indicates the rainfall and the amount of rain that we have. But as we look inside that storm, especially off just to the north and east of Carrollton, you can look at the wind within that. And there's been a real decent wind max in a pretty good area of tight rotation off towards the north. So you can see here, this is the area of concern right in here. This will be out of Carroll County and out of our viewing area over the next 5 minutes or so. This is a very quick mover, but if you were anywhere east of Carrollton in Carroll County, you need to be in your safe place right now. That would be a basement or interior room as this storm continues to head down towards the south and the east. We're watching this part of the storm as well. We've had two little areas of rotation with this. This is the main one. We've been watching the one off towards the north as well. Atmosphere very conducive to supercell development, and that's what we've seen throughout the afternoon with these storms firing down to the south. But in terms of the Akron area, the Canton area, everyone else is in the clear right now. We'll have to keep an eye on some of these cells, but this is a storm that we continue to watch. So again, extreme southeastern half of Carroll County, extreme southeastern half of our viewing area. That's the area of concern. So if you're anywhere east of Carrollton, as you get over towards the Pennsylvania area, the storm will be heading that way, and it will be out of our viewing area soon. We'll have an update on this and our local forecast as we go on throughout the newscast, but Betsy, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Matt, thanks a lot. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for Tuscarawas and Carroll counties till 10 o'clock, too. So thanks for keeping an eye on that for us. Well, every Olympic team has alternates. Somebody on standby just in case an athlete can't compete. But not every alternate is in the host country for these Olympic Games because of strict rules due to the pandemic. This morning, one local athlete got a once-in-a-lifetime phone call. Will Ewig has that story for us.
Got a call from my manager. He said, hey, a little bit of bad news, but a little bit of good news.
We've all had strange wake-up calls in our life, but sometimes...
Get your stuff ready for Tokyo. You have a flight in the morning.
The strange ones are the best kind.
Haven't slept. Talked to a lot of different people to get this ball rolling, so we're off to Tokyo.
Chardon, Ohio native and University of Akron grad Matt Ludwig finished fourth in qualifying for Team USA's Olympic pole vaulting squad, making him an alternate and meaning he'd be watching the games from home.
I'm approaching it as if it won't happen, and so I'll still prepare and I'll be fully focused.
Unless something happened.
My friend Matt Ludwig, fourth place at the United States Olympic trials. I would hope you would get on a plane soon and come compete in my stead.
Late Wednesday night local time, Team USA pole vaulter and reigning world champ Sam Kendricks tested positive for COVID, meaning he wouldn't be able to compete. Also meaning...
Called my mom at like 2 in the morning.
Matt Ludwig would need to be on the next plane to Tokyo.
I said, hey, you might have to come out to Akron and get me to the airport. I just got called up for Tokyo.
I thought I was dreaming, honestly, because it was late at night and I had to keep pinching myself to make sure that I wasn't sleeping, that really happened.
It's always been a dream for Matt to compete at the Olympics.
He's been a very highly motivated athlete his whole life.
Lifelong dream. Certainly hasn't settled in yet.
A dream that he was unexpectedly awakened from when it became a reality.
a bit of a strange route to get here, but just as excited, and I don't want to waste the opportunity.
Now, the reason Ludwig can compete is he's actually had to follow Olympic protocols from here in Ohio. He's been quarantining, getting tested. Also, he could be ready if that call came. Now it's just a quick flight to Chicago, then to Tokyo, then compete against the best pole vaulters in the world, which happens in about 27 hours, Betsy.
Oh, good luck with that jet lag, kiddo.
We're going to be pulling for him. Hopefully we can wheel him.
Adrenaline will help him overcome. Absolutely. All right, Will, thanks so much. Great story.
Yeah, incredible story. Switching gears now to COVID-19, and even though our daily case count here in Ohio was down more than 250 cases today from yesterday, this was still the third day in a row where our case count has exceeded 1,000. When it comes to hospitalizations, we have seen just a small increase, as only 2% of our state's hospital beds are occupied by COVID-19 patients. But remember, they tend to lag behind cases, so those could be moving up soon.
Well, we now have more Northeast Ohio counties that are in the orange, as you can see, which means there's substantial transmission. Medina, Lorain, Erie, Huron, Richland, and Ashland counties are all now on that list. Carroll County has dropped back to moderate transmission.
A lot of this is directly due to the Delta variant. We've been telling you so much about this, as well as the unvaccinated. Monica Robbins joins us now. Monica, good afternoon to you. A lot of people want to know this question. You're fully vaccinated. Does that mean that you cannot pass the Delta variant to someone who's not protected?
Does that not mean, well, no. If you're fully vaccinated, can you get COVID? Yeah, you can get COVID. And yes, you can pass it on to somebody who's unvaccinated, which is the big problem.
Sure.
Yeah, so yes, it is possible. And we also know it is possible for a vaccinated person to potentially give it to another vaccinated person. But we know these vaccines are not 100%. You need less of the Delta virus to transmit infection. We also know that breakthrough infections are also on the rise. But the bigger risk is a vaccinated person infecting an unvaccinated person, which is why these mask guidelines are changing back, especially indoor areas where ventilation is less. And while those breakthrough cases are happening, the vaccines are still 97% effective in preventing severe disease. That's what they were meant to do in the first place, and that is incredibly important. But the other safety protocols, such as masks and distancing and hand washing, all those other things we've known about for the last 18 months, we still got to do.
All right, so of the people hospitalized with those breakthrough infections, is there a record of which of the vaccines they were given? That's kind of a topic of conversation.
Yeah, a lot of people want to do that. I called the state today. The state does not keep that data. The majority of the 200 plus people hospitalized and the 34 who died were often older and immunocompromised. Experts tell me it is safe to assume that the vaccine was a mix because both mRNA vaccines had the same initial efficacy and J&J was slightly less. Now, despite the breakthroughs, again, overall the vaccines are still very good at preventing severe disease, which is very important, and we can see that in our hospitalization rates.
Sure.
There is a slight incline. They are going up a little bit, but not like the case numbers are and everything else and what we're dealing with around the country.
All right. Now, one of the things we haven't really talked a lot about is deaths, and I took a look at those today because I haven't looked at them in a while. Over the past 14 days, we have still had 79 deaths here in Ohio. Now, that's paltry compared to where we were at our peak. It's about just under 6 deaths a day. This is still killing people.
Yes, it is. And from January 1st of this year, what the governor said on Monday was we had 7,000 unvaccinated people die from this. And as of Monday, it was 34 people who were fully vaccinated, most of which all had immunocompromised situations, medical conditions, and they were older.
Again, proof is in the numbers. Vaccinations are keeping people alive.
Yep.
All right, Monica, thank you very much. Next, one-on-one with Akron's resident bachelor dad, Stephanie Haney, catches up with Michael Aliel as he decided to walk away from love so he could be with his son. That's coming up.
And we, of course, are keeping a close eye on what's happening as far as the forecast goes. Matt will be along with the latest coming up.
The Summer Games Medal Count is sponsored by Dollar Bank. Let's get you there. What's New is sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, celebrating 100 years of care.
And welcome back into What's New, everybody. What's new in terms of warnings? They have extended that tornado warning down for our Carroll County cell that we continue to watch. You can see the bigger picture across Northeast Ohio. Still some cells firing up along our frontal boundary down to the south, but this is our biggest concern. Extreme southeastern half of the viewing area. If you're in Carroll County, the majority of the county is okay from severe weather right now. It's this eastern part near Fox heading towards Bergholz, which is really under the gun in terms of the severe weather with this cell, which has shown some pretty good signs of rotation, likely a funnel cloud, if not a tornado on the ground with this. So the latest radar imagery, heavy rain falling all of this north and east of Carrollton. You're fine right now in Carrollton. Western areas of the county, you're good as well. But this is heading over into Jefferson County, which is outside our viewing area. But it's this part of the cell right here as we zoom on in. Right near Fox, you've got just this little appendage of Carroll County here. That is where the bulk of this cell is. And it's heading southeast pretty rapidly as well. Looking at the wind within the system, the good news, we just got that latest scan, and it does look like that cell is now out of the county, heading towards Bergholz, but we've got still some decent rotation with that. We've shown a really tight couplet with that in the last 5-10 minutes when it got issued. And again, that cell will need to be watched as it heads out of the viewing area. Elsewhere, outside of that tornado warning, which goes for about another 10 minutes or so, we've got some hit or miss cells out towards areas of Millersburg, Holmes County. Nothing severe with that. Canton up towards Cleveland, we're fine right now. Problem is the front hasn't passed yet, so we're still dealing with that muggy air. Here's a look at those cells last night. This is your 24-hour radar loop. You can see this morning we did have gusty winds, but the bulk of this activity from the thunderstorm cluster that was well advertised went through areas of Chicago and Indiana. You can see the appendage we got here bringing some of that rain. But notice where this boundary settles. So this chunk's over here, but we've still got a boundary overhead, and that would be the frontal boundary. That could still spark some storms rest of the evening. Highest threat for severe weather weather is going to be our southern communities, and I think we can pretty much close the door on the severe weather threat with some lingering downpours. We're in the 80s right now. We've broken out into sunshine in spots. The wind's still out of the west, so we don't have that cooling breeze yet. Look at the dew points. In the last hour, Millersburg had a dew point of 79. That's the highest of the year so far. That is just tropical Floridian type air, even Amazonish. But you can see we're all still in the 70s, so that mugginess is still there. Atmosphere is still ready to go. You marry those two numbers together, we get heat indices up in the 90s. But this is all on the periphery of that heat dome. 100-degree heat, that's what it feels like down to our south. We're going to push this down to the south a little bit further. We're going to tap into some nice air up in New England. And boy, are we setting the stage for a beautiful weekend around here. In fact, here are your dew points through the day tomorrow. You can see the times at the bottom. Midday, we've got comfortable air. By afternoon tomorrow, it is just downright nice outside. You're barely going to break a sweat as you're out and about tomorrow afternoon. And we hold that as we go on into your Saturday. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. The big stuff heads out of here over the next hour. We deal with lingering downpours from time to time. Tomorrow morning is going to be cooler. We'll be in the mid-60s. Could spark some stray showers as we bring cooler in over the lake. So if there is a rain chance tomorrow, it's mainly early in the day. We start to clear things out after that. Gorgeous Friday evening. That will set the stage for an equally perfect Saturday around here. Muggy meter, there you go, goes down. Next rain chance Sunday, and then we dry things out once again next week. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast looks like this. Lots of sunshine expected on Saturday after some clouds tomorrow. Next chance of rain on Sunday. Doesn't look like a big deal, but we're in the 70s all the way through next week. Humidity staying very comfortable after that. We've got more weather updates for you, and we've got Pop Break coming up.
Okay. Mic check. We are going to be talking with Michael Allio from The Bachelorette.
Welcome back to What's New. Our local Bachelorette contestant who came home because he missed his son. He got that phone call and said, I've got to go. He's back here in Northeast Ohio now, and he's talking to our Stephanie Haney on her 3 Things to Know podcast. Big deal.
You got to drop the dish. Everybody's asking all these questions. You were actually able to ask them to him. So the big question is, What's he going to say?
Well, he didn't hold back, and I will tell you this. He has not ruled out being the next Bachelor, and it looks like he saw our story, too, about whether he dodged that question about being willing to leave Ohio. And Katie Thurston had a surprising answer to what he said.
Ooh.
I think you did a little piece on that or something, like I dodged the question. And I'm not that savvy, unfortunately. The first time I answered it, I said I was flexible mainly in the Midwest, like Chicago and things like that. And then later on in the season, I came back to her and I admitted that, I'm not flexible at all. And she was willing to move to Akron. She said it multiple times. It just wasn't aired.
He did answer it. It just wasn't aired. And we also have a Bachelorette alum coming into town this weekend. I talked with Blake Horstman about his biggest concern for Michael if fans get their way and he does become the next Bachelor.
He seems like such a sweet, genuine guy. I don't know him personally, but he comes off that way. Seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, incredibly a fantastic father, it seems like. If he is the Bachelor, which I just still do think he will be the Bachelor. That is something I think is going to happen. But I don't know a Bachelor who, everybody's super excited Bachelor, but usually when the Bachelor leaves, like, people don't really like him. That's kind of been the theme. That's been the theme throughout, even Bachelorettes sometimes. But it's really hard to stay, I don't know, a fan fave, if you will, when you're the Bachelor. And I just hope sometimes those producers can be very, very, they can mold him into what they want, and that can be very dangerous.
Can indeed. Lots of drama. Now, these guys had so much more to say. It is all linked at WKYC.com/3thingstoknow. And Blake will be DJing at the Barley House on Friday. And Michael is going. So, ladies, Northeast Ohio ladies, if you want to shoot your shot, that's where he's going to be.
You better be careful, because if he finds a lady, then he can't be the next Bachelor.
That's true. I think he wants the love, though.
Wow.
All right. Very good. Stephanie, thank you. Still ahead, look at how our local athletes are doing in Tokyo. Will Ewick fills us in on their results as the games continue, and more on that surprise call made overnight that took one Northeast Ohio athlete to Tokyo in a hurry.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Here are 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. Some folks are cleaning up after storms earlier this afternoon. Severe weather knocked down trees and power lines. This is video from Kingsville out in Ashtabula County, where strong winds toppled over trees, left branches in people's yards. Flooding has also been an issue in some areas. Carroll County, you are now severe clear.
All right, number 2, the Browns went through day 2 of training camp workouts today in Berea. No major stories coming from camp today, but there are a few news items. Jimmy told us yesterday that Greedy Williams who missed all of last season with an injury, had to leave practice yesterday. He left the field with a trainer. There was some concern that maybe he had re-injured himself. Not the case. It was due to heat exhaustion, so no new injury for Greedy, and that's certainly good news. Also, OBJ today sat out workouts. No big deal. Remember, he's coming back from ACL surgery last season. This is just precautionary, trying to avoid back-to-back workout days for OBJ.
And speaking of football in Canton, there is more excitement as this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Week is just 1 week away. Final touches are being put on the festival area now, welcoming in the class of 2020 and 2021 since last year's event was canceled due to COVID. Both enshrinement ceremonies, a gold jacket ceremony, and a full stadium game between the Cowboys and Steelers will be taking place, all as construction continues outside to transform the Hall of Fame Village. The Hall of Fame is expecting more than 70,000 people to visit next week. And we have seen big crowds for football events here in Ohio, of course, with the draft.
Yeah.
And just lots going on. So hopefully everybody's going to be safe when they do travel here, certainly. On all that note, we welcome you back to What's New on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
I drove by there earlier this week, and it was just a flurry of activity. It was just like all the busy bees were working to try to get everything right and in place. This is a big class, too. Peyton Manning going in.
Yeah.
He obviously will draw a lot of fans to the area, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Well, right now it's time for our Olympics Happy Hour report, as we've been calling it, and man, what a crazy ride for this fella. Chardon's Matt Ludwig. The University of Akron product has just got to be on top of the world right now. He finished 4th at the Olympic trials, which is usually disappointing because that means you just missed the team, but you are on the team as an alternate. Then last night he got the call. He had to head to Tokyo because Sam Kendricks tested positive for COVID-19. It's a quick turnaround, though. He's going to compete tomorrow, and we know that's a long flight to Japan, but as Betsy said earlier, I think adrenaline will carry him through the moment.
My goodness. Now, we anxiously wait for his competition, of course, but in the meantime, we have a lot of other Ohioans who are making us proud in Tokyo. Our Olympics expert, Will Ewick, is back with an update on all the scoreboard of our local folks.
I feel a little bit like Steve Kornacki. I need to lose the coat, roll up the sleeves,
this.
tabulating everything that's going on. So let's run through our local athletes in Tokyo here. Let's start with fencing because we've been keeping track of Lee Kiefer, who won the gold already in the individual competition. Now the rest of the U.S. women's fencing foil team. She was with them early this morning, taking on Italy, competing for a bronze medal. Some back and forth early, but Italy takes the match, 45-23, and the U.S. team just misses the podium. Over to archery now. Massillon's Jacob Wuki advances to the round of 8 after winning 2 matches early this morning. This is a single elimination tournament, and up first for Wuki is a fellow American, actually, Brady Ellison. That is a 10:01 local start time tomorrow night. In Olympic golf, there's a pair of Kent State alums playing for Team Canada. That's right, you heard me. Mackenzie Hughes shot a negative 269 in the opening round here on a par 15, or on 15, that's a par 4. He would par that hole. He's 6 shots off the leader at -8. As for his fellow Golden Flash, Corey Connors, on the 18th, and he sinks in the birdie putt. He also finishes the day at 2 under, both in contention as golf swings on. And later tonight, Solon's Reggie Jagers, the left-handed discus thrower, will open his competition. This is Jagers' first Olympics, and it begins at 10:20 local time. Tonight we'll see him throw, and also throwing at the Olympics, Westlake native and current Ohio State student, Adelaide Aquila. She'll compete in shot put. That event gets underway at 6:25 a.m. tomorrow morning. Good luck to the former MAG star there. And we've been talking about it all Olympics long, the boxing ring, and with good reason. They continue to move on. Our local fighters will look to keep that streak going tomorrow morning. 5:36 a.m., it's Tiger Johnson back in the ring, men's welterweight quarterfinals. And Toledo's O'Shea Jones will also be putting the gloves back on tomorrow morning. Her fight 5:03 a.m. local time. With the win, she'll advance to the semifinals. So best of luck to both of them.
Wow.
Did I get it all in? Was that?
Did. That's
You did.
amazing.
And time.
Yes, way to go.
And can I just say, I absolutely think the most incredible thing that I have seen today is that picture of Matt Ludwig at the airport with that tube that carries his poles, because of course he can't, leave them here. You don't
you
want
gotta take 'em.
shipping. You got to take them with you. Can you imagine the looks he got at the airport? You're checking what?
The interesting thing is he said that they have to pick and choose what airlines they can take because only some of them are very accommodating for the pole vaults.
Well, hopefully the captain got on and was like, guess who we have here? Shout
People
out.
in seats D through A, you're now kicked off the flight. We need to make room for his
We
pole
have a
vaults. That's
VIP
great.
on board.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Reggie throws the disc tonight.
Coming up tonight.
Oh, it's so
He
exciting.
feels great. I've been texting with him. He's ready.
Yeah.
He said, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, and it's upon us.
And I got a call
Good
from
luck,
Mom
Reggie.
yesterday, so everyone,
the whole
everyone's
family
ready.
is thrilled.
Everyone's ready. We'll be watching.
Yeah, we're pulling for you, Reg.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next on What's New, taking home the gold. We'll show you the moment one woman's family watched her win gold and why it is extra special for her father. What a story this is.
And speaking of Olympics,
Wait, really?
our Throwdown Thursday Olympics edition continues. Last week, Team Blue won the first round of competition. Now the big question is, does Team Red make a comeback? We'll see. And of course, we're keeping a close eye on what's happening with the sky. Boy, here in Cleveland, it's just cleared out. It's a nice afternoon. South, though, it's been a rumbling, Matt.
Right, it absolutely has been. As you mentioned, Betsy, right on point. We are severe weather clear down in Carroll County. That's the important part. Skies will turn to some sunshine, not just across Cleveland, but the greater Cleveland area and beyond. We're going to bring in much drier air. You are going to love this forecast through the weekend. Your outdoor dining forecast still have some hodgepodge rainfall out there. Otherwise, we're dry, 70s, and more comfortable. We'll be back with another look at the radars and your weekend forecasts next.
All right, Matt, get us caught up with what's happening on the radar and locally and beyond.
Yeah, getting better. That's the good news. We're clearing things out. That frontal boundary just kind of lagging across northeast Ohio as they often do this time of year. But we are starting to clear out our severe threat. We're this close to saying we're severe weather free. Still have to keep an eye on some of these cells down to the south. But I think by the time they get developed, they will be out of the viewing area. That's the good news. So big picture, yeah, pretty quiet radar, all things considered. It was loud this morning out towards Ashtabula County. Had several tornado warnings, perhaps some tornado damage. Survey crews, obviously, for the National Weather Service have to evaluate that first, but out in Crawford County, Pennsylvania, quite a bit of damage being reported there. And then the rain kind of sat. We had very heavy rain, upwards of 4 inches of rain in an hour and a half in areas near just south of downtown Ashtabula. That went away. We kind of heated back up, and that frontal boundary still in place has kicked off more storms. We still have some shear in the atmosphere, so these storms are prone to spinning, and that's exactly what the storm did at the top of the hour in Carroll County. Still tornado warned. It's out down to the southeast of Carroll County. You are severe weather clear right now. We're still hanging on to that watch, but we're just really close to clearing things out. Still some leftover heavy rain and some lightning near Bergholz there. All that heading south and east around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So it should be clearing out shortly. A look at the wind. We can look at the wind inside the radar. Those are those reds and greens that you often see. And you can see we had a real tight area rotation that went right through the eastern portion of Carroll County down towards the south. That is now out of here. That's the good news. We're drying out. A lot of us didn't see much rain at all today, but out towards Ashtabula County, that was a sweet spot. We had lots of flooding ongoing, and you can see radar estimated 3, 4, even 4.5 inches of rain fell from downtown Ashtabula down towards the Pierpont area. So lots of drying out there. Here's a look at that entire complex as it went through this morning. You can see how it kind of held on out towards Ashtabula County, had some rotation with that. That moved out. Boundary now pushing south. We can start to breathe a sigh of relief here as we go throughout the evening and then especially tomorrow. We're still warm though. This time of year, fronts don't come by like they do in the fall and sweepingly change that air mass. So we're still stuck with the mugginess. Winds still have to change around towards the north. Thing you'll notice tomorrow, this thick air is going away, and we're going to bring in a refreshing breeze. I'm telling you, picture perfect. One of the top 5 days of the summer tomorrow. But until then, still have some heat out there. And that heat is really ongoing across the Central Plains. It has just been such a hot summer for them. Hasn't felt like anything hot here locally over the last couple weeks, and that will continue to be the case. Dew points on their way down tomorrow. It's going to get more comfortable by the hour. Your National Zymark hour-by-hour forecast clearing out the storms. Still leftover clouds tonight, and then tomorrow we could see some lake effect showers in the morning with colder air aloft, but eventually we'll clear things out. Quick look at that Sunday system. That's our next chance of rain. You see how we dry out Friday and Saturday. Here comes our Sunday system. Looks a little bit different than the one we just had. Obviously, it's a different system, but we have some rainfall chances. Doesn't look like a big severe weather threat on Sunday, and we're not going to have as much humidity to deal with. Your muggy meter staying pretty comfortable over the next 7 days, considering we're heading into August. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 70s throughout the next 6 days. Only chance of rain will really be on Sunday. More dry weather to start next week. Just a picture-perfect forecast as we head beyond today. Guys.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Matt, thanks. All right, here it is, your chicken skin moment of the day from the Olympics. And I'm telling you, you can't watch this and not smile. It's all a celebration from the family of USA gymnast Suni Lee. Her family erupting with cheers when they found out that she had won the gold medal in Tokyo for the individual all-around competition. They were just waiting for that score to be announced. It was an especially proud moment for her father. This is one of the few times he has seen his daughter compete since 2019. Just 2 days before she competed in the U.S. National Gymnastics Championships that year, he had fallen off a ladder and was paralyzed from the chest down. Suni wanted to skip the championships, but Dad said, no way. You've worked too hard and fought for way too long to miss it. Go chase your dream. By the way, you can watch her all-around gold medal winning performance tonight on NBC in prime time.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that.
Goosebumps,
Oh, man. Well, still ahead for us, we go live to Tokyo. It's been another big day for Team USA. Mentioned gymnastics, but swimming is also going on. Some of the big-name athletes setting Olympic records, too. All that is still ahead. Oh, yeah. It's Throwdown Thursday. And of course, because all of us are just a little bit competitive and we like to have some fun, Throwdown Thursday has turned into a 3-part series during the Olympic Games.
I wish it was a 5-part series.
We had such a good time. The What's New team broke into teams to see who is the best of the best of the best.
Yeah, now you might remember last week, Team Blue took home the gold. This week, Mike Polk Jr. tests our mental and our physical abilities.
We have a heck of a competition in store, starting with planking. Now, not just ordinary planking. While you guys are planking, I'm going to be asking random Olympic trivia questions. While you plank, you can answer the questions. 3, 2, 1. Plank for America! Question number 1. Which country has hosted the most Olympic Games?
There's France.
Not correct, not France. Blue team. The United States is correct. 1 point. Okay, next question. The Olympics were held first to honor which Greek god? Blue team. Zeus is correct. Blue team point. Remember the rules, Kling. I'm going. Next question. In the late 80s, Mary Lou Retton appeared in a series of commercials for this locally based drugstore chain.
Rite Aid.
Not Rite Aid. Blue team.
Repco.
Repco's correct. 4 points. This Cleveland-born athlete won 4 medals in 1936. Blue team.
Jesse Owens.
Correct. That's not a plank anymore.
There were no rules. There were no rules.
In 1988, Canada's Ben Johnson was the first Olympic athlete to be disqualified for this. Blue team.
Steroids.
Steroids is correct. Jay cleaning up but dying inside. You look like you could be doing your taxes right now. What is wrong with you? What colors are the Olympic rings?
Blue, red, yellow.
Okay.
White. You crush.
Okay, so that was 6 correct questions.
Did the red team get any right?
Let's not rub it in. Competitors, you have before you 8 Olympic events. You have to put these in order in which they were introduced into the Olympics on the count of 3. And 3, 2, 1. When you have them in an order you like, say, here, and I'll come and look. Interesting strategy. I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, we got it.
Okay, you got it first. Let me take a look. You have 1 wrong. Moving over here. You also have a couple wrong. Keep trying. Tell me when you want to try again.
Let's do it.
All right, let's take a look. Still wrong.
Okay.
Still wrong.
Okay.
Still wrong. Still wrong. You guys are very close. You have 2 flip-flops. Got it. They got it. Team Red. Judo was screwing everyone up. They got it first. Yeah. Team Blue, Team Red. Tight matchup we've got here. It all comes down to this. The ultimate Greco-Roman competition. Next to wrestling, I guess. Tug of war. This was in the original games, and now you guys are going to do it and possibly injure yourselves. And go! Okay, wow. Everyone's pulling. They're trying. Oh, they are gonna feel this tomorrow. Now, Team Red's making a move. I don't know what is going on here. This.
1, 2.
It's still going. Here, okay. Oh my gosh.
I am tired.
Okay, oh gosh. Okay, that's Team Red. Team Red wins. Everybody.
The idea was to wear them out. Just hold on. Let them tire themselves out. They didn't, which is stunning to me.
Yes. Let's look alive. Good job, man.
I vote we plank again.
Nerds win.
I am tired. My favorite part. I mean, that will never be topped. That will never be. I got to tell you, Kiera and I and Mo, we were bitten by the overconfidence bug.
Wow.
We felt there was no way we could lose that. And it was our strategy to just hold on.
I mean,
not pull, but just tire you guys out.
Yeah.
And you guys were like Iron Men over there and women.
Beefcake.
You didn't get tired. Well, you got tired.
Well, of course, I started tired. I was tired before we even went outside. Our strategy was basically for Matt just to pull back as much as possible, and Stephanie and I would try and help as much as possible. Holiday weight,
It was fun. It was fun. So right now, we're all tied up. Next week, it's for the gold medal. It is for the gold medal. So Kiera and Mo, I want you training 12 hours a day, every day until next week, because we are not settling for the silver.
Stephanie and Matt, please just show up.
All right, Team USA keeps its top spot for medals so far in Tokyo as the Olympics continue. We're going to have a live report as Team USA prepares for a huge night of competition tonight in track and field.
Made up,
A lot of hungers today.
made up documents that allowed him to defraud taxpayers. Yes, are you there? I can barely hear you. All right.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. Councilman Ken Johnson faces up to 10 years in prison for more than 15 theft-related charges.
Al, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Laura Queso's mic. Today is Thursday.
Yeah, we begin with Israel giving booster shots to people over 60 beginning Sunday.
Women's gymnastics has dominated headlines after Simone Biles withdrew from 2 events to focus on her mental health, including the all-around competition that happened earlier today.
Well, without the reigning gold medal favorite, the field of opportunity was open to emerging stars. NBC's Liz McLaughlin has more on what unfolded.
When Simone Biles stepped back, Suni Lee stepped up. The 18-year-old gymnast nailed her routines in the women's all-around competition Wednesday, landing at the top of the podium.
This medal definitely means a lot to me because there was a point in time where I wanted to quit and I just didn't think I would ever get here.
Disbelief from another U.S. gold medal winner, Caleb Dressel, sharing this emotional moment with his family after winning the 100-meter freestyle and setting a new Olympic record. In the long haul 800-meter free, underdog Bobby Fink hit the gas on the last lap to surge from behind and win.
And the American is passing by everybody.
In the women's 4x200-meter free relay, Katie Ledecky made up for lost time in the final leg, the team landing a silver for the U.S.
They were putting me in an amazing position going into the anchor.
Another silver by American shooter Kaylee Browning, hitting 19 straight in trap shooting.
Kaylee Browning climbing on the podium.
On the eve of track and field kicking off at the Olympics, 2 pole vaulters, including U.S. world champion Sam Kendricks, dropped out of competition after testing positive for COVID-19. Growing coronavirus concerns in the Olympic Village as competition continues.
Those track and field events kicking off Friday, starting with a 10K race, part of a packed schedule, including a soccer game for the U.S. women's soccer team. I'm wearing their away jersey. You can see their crest right here. They will be taking on the Netherlands in a World Cup rematch. They played the Netherlands in 2019. They're probably hoping for the same result in this game, a win. That's the latest in Tokyo. I'm Liz McLaughlin. Betsy and Jay, back to you guys.
I am crushing hard on that soccer jersey. I think it's super cute. But let's talk about the outfits that the gymnasts were wearing, Liz. What about those?
Absolutely. Betsy, I was there. I was part of the small crowd in that all-around competition. Skipped some sleep, totally worth it. It was exhilarating. And let me tell you, I have one of the leotards here. This is a replica. The actual ones have Swarovski crystals on them, about 4,000. And to see them in person, you think, okay, a bedazzled leotard, but under the lights, it really highlights every single one of their moves. And the maneuvers are so complicated. It takes so much control. Every pinky flick, every toe point, just glistening. And so it was amazing to see Suni Lee have that successful competition and get everything just right to bring home a medal. Betsy and Jay.
I cannot wait to see it. Thank you so much, Liz. We appreciate it.
Well, that's going to do it. We're out of time, but we're back tomorrow at 5, and we hope you join us then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, Baker's back.
Building that chemistry, and it's, the more reps we get, the more experience we have together. We're truly enjoying going through this process and working together.
The Browns quarterback speaking out at day 2 of training camp today. The voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, has reaction. Also, getting the call. One local track star receives the call of his life after being tapped to compete at the Olympics at the last minute. Will Ewick, live from the Ozone, explains how it all happened. COVID cases climbing. With more local counties seeing an increase in cases, tough decisions are being made about masking and vaccine requirements. And back in action. After sitting on the sidelines for a year because of COVID, the Pro Football Hall of Fame game activities are back and ready to kick off a new season.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Queso. Tonight, Baker Mayfield and the Browns back together and working on a new season at training camp.
And we got to hear from the star of the show today about his goals for the team. Jimmy Donovan is here with more on this. How are you, sir?
I am really good, and so is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I'll tell you what, I look at Baker Mayfield right now and I say, boy, he's all grown up. He really is. I mean, he's so different. Imagine, it is year number 4, okay? Year number 1 was thrilling. Year number 2, not good. Year number 3 last year, I thought he was exceptional last year. And now he comes into year number 4, and everybody looks for a big jump, especially him. I mean, it's all there for him. I mean, he has familiarity with this offense. It's a great offense to be in if you're a quarterback, any quarterback, but he loves it, and he loves the players that he's playing with. Now, as I said, I thought he was great last year. I thought the second half of the season, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He took the Browns by the hand and took them right into the playoffs and won that game in Pittsburgh. He said, I can be so much better.
I can play a whole lot better than last year. I know that. I'm trying to improve each year. And when it comes to looking at other guys in 3rd to 4th years, I don't compare myself to anybody. I try and be the best version of me, and I think that's what we try and stress in this building is it matters what goes on. If you're getting better, the team's getting better, and we're pushing each other, and do your job first and foremost.
It's a very business-like training camp, especially with him. And I'll tell you why it's business-like, because really, it doesn't have to be a very competitive camp. I mean, the starters know that they are the starters. The backups know that they have a spot on the team and will contribute. That's when you know you have a very good, solid football team coming into the season. There was one little injury yesterday. Hollywood Higgins, the wide receiver, kind of tweaked his ankle, so he took the day off today. And the Browns players are giddy. You know why? Wow. The fans are coming to camp tomorrow, and they really have missed them.
It's a big day. You're giddy yourself, Jimmy Donovan.
Yeah, most days. But especially tomorrow, I think, I'll be just uncontrollable.
Okay, can't wait.
I think you'll look and say, he's not grown up.
We will see you later in sports. Thank you.
All right, well, imagine this. A local athlete getting a call in the middle of the night to head to Tokyo.
This happened to an athlete from Chardon who is now on his way to compete for Team USA as part of the men's pole vault team.
Will Ewick joins us live now from the Olympic zone with his story. Well, this is really just incredible.
Yeah, Laura, it's a story that'll teach you to always be ready and also, despite the telemarketers, always answer your phone. Chardon, Ohio native Akron University grad Matt Ludwig finished 4th in qualifying for Team USA's Olympic pole vaulting squad, making him an alternate, and meaning he'd be watching the games from home unless something happened. Well, that something did happen. Late last night, local time, Team USA